We have opened Premiere. This is the first window that you should get. Yours might look slightly different. It just depends on the updates that have been done. So the first thing you want to do is click New Project, whatever window you have, and then you want to name this. And I would call this Principles of Art. And then this is really important. You want to go to Browse, because you saved everything into a folder that is on the desktop. And if you notice, Premiere automatically defaults to all of these weird folders that are going to be really hard for you to find. So what you want to do is find your folder, which is right there, say choose, and then what happens is Premiere automatically will save stuff into that folder, and whenever you add new things, that's where you need to put them, is in that folder. Okay, so I'm going to say okay, and Premiere will open up. Those of you who've never used Premiere before, please do not be daunted by how this looks. It looks a lot more scary than it actually is. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to reset. Actually, I'll just leave it. It's fine. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my project window, which is right here. And there's a couple things you can do. You can, it says import media to start, which is what we're going to do right over here. You go to File, Import, and the media that we are going to import is this pattern PSD that we just made. And you can see it's right there. So I'm going to say import. And then one of the things you need to do is once this window pops up, this is really important. It says merge all layers. You do not want to merge all layers. You want individual layers, because you just spent all that time making all of these individual layers and you want them to be all individual. And you can say select all also. You want to make sure that this is selected. All of them are selected, and say okay. Now it's going to import everything and it puts it in a nice neat little folder right here. Right, and a couple things you can do. You can take your folder and just drop it over here, and it just sets everything up for you, although this is kind of out of order. But you can see it's already animating. It's animated itself just by pure virtue of the fact that all of your layers are in separate layers, and now they're moving around the screen. Now, one thing I do want to point out is if you look here, it has V123, A123. So this is video 123 and audio 123. And we're not really going to use, we're going to use the audio, but not right this second. So I want to grab and drag around these and move them up here, because the one thing I want back underneath everything is this background, which somehow ended up over here. So what I need to do is click on the background, drag it under here, and then drag it all the way out so the background is underneath all of these. So now I have my little pattern thing, and it looks like, actually, it kind of looks like only one of those patterns showed up for some reason. Yep, it kind of looks like it only, let's see how many of these I have. I have 10, and let's go back to the Photoshop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so for some reason, all of these did not come in, and I'm not exactly sure why, but that's okay. We can figure that out. So basically what we can do is we can repeat these, because we have them here and they are repeating themselves. And what we can do is we can copy all of them once we figure out that first one is the eye drop, so we don't need that one. We'll move to the next two, these two. I'm going to move up here because these three are not the squares. So we can move those out of the way, and then these are the squares. So one of the things that we can do is we can repeat these squares in a a few different ways. Okay, so we can repeat the squares by grabbing and dragging, clicking Command C, then going up here and clicking Command V. Okay, let's move our thing over here, Command V, and then it, so you have to move this, which is your cursor, over here. Otherwise, it just plants it wherever your cursor happens to be. I don't know if you guys followed that or not, but okay, so now I'm going to take it, I'm going to move it over here, and now it should be doubled up. But here's the deal, is it is doubled up, but because for some reason it only captured that one set, now what I need to do is somehow either offset these, meaning I can move them up one more and move the whole kit and caboodle over a little bit. So I can move these over so it will, so now it's creating some kind of pattern, if you can see. It's kind of moving things around a little bit up on the screen, which is working pretty well. So what I would like everybody to do, also, all right, I'm going to quit this right now because I think I'm being confusing.